Let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about this for a moment. When was the last time you actually checked whether your elderly parent, your grandmother, your grandfather, was washing certain parts of their body properly? Not the arms. Not the face. Not the obvious places we all pay attention to. I'm talking about the forgotten areas. The areas we don't talk about at family gatherings. The areas your loved one may be too shy, too tired, or too stiff to clean. The very same areas that, if ignored long enough, can quietly lead to infections, slow decline, and yes, believe it or not, can even shorten their lifespan. I see this every day in my line of work. Families mean well. Seniors try their best. But aging changes the body in ways we don't notice until it's too late. And most adults over 65 simply cannot clean certain areas the way they used to. Not because they're careless. Not because they don't want to. But because aging makes everyday hygiene a physical challenge. A challenge most families never see, until something goes terribly wrong. And here's the part that might surprise you. Even seniors who shower regularly, who have excellent personal hygiene, still miss these hidden danger zones. Not out of neglect. Not out of laziness. But out of mobility limitations, reduced flexibility, poor balance, thinning skin, or simply the embarrassment of asking for help. Yet these areas matter more than you think. When they're not cleaned well, they can trap moisture, trap bacteria, and slowly build into health problems that no one connects to hygiene at first. Problems that start small, but grow silently. Problems I've watched break down strong men and graceful women who were otherwise doing everything right. And that's exactly why you're here today. Because you care. And because someone you love depends on you, maybe more than they'll ever admit. In today's video, you're going to discover the 5 most commonly neglected areas older adults forget to wash. The areas I wish more families paid attention to. The areas that can protect your loved one's comfort, dignity, and health if you simply know what to look for. Some of what you're about to hear will surprise you. Some of it might even shock you. But all of it will empower you to make sure the people who raised you, supported you, or walked life with you stay healthy for as long as possible. Before we go any further, take 1 second, just one, and comment, "I care," if you're watching this video because you want to protect someone you love. It helps this message reach more families who need it. And if you're new here, welcome to Golden Years Guide, your home for senior health awareness, gentle guidance, and the knowledge every family should have but rarely gets. Let's begin. Neglected area number 1. Under the breasts and skin folds. Now, let's start with a place almost no one talks about openly, but every senior struggles with in one way or another. The skin folds. Under the breasts, under the belly, around the waistline, in the creases the body naturally forms over time. I want you to picture an elderly woman named Maria. She's 78. Still sharp. Still independent. Still proud of doing things on her own. But lately, her daughter notices something strange. Every time Maria sits down, she gently scratches under her breasts. Almost like she's trying to hide the motion so nobody sees. When her daughter asks, Maria just smiles and says, "Oh honey, it's nothing, just a little itch." And like many families, the daughter lets it go, thinking it's harmless. But weeks later, that small itch has turned into a bright red rash. The skin is irritated, hot, sensitive to touch. And when Maria finally agrees to let someone look at it, she's embarrassed, because she didn't realize how bad it had gotten. This is one of the most common hygiene problems in older adults, and yet, it's also one of the most hidden. You see, aging skin behaves differently. As we grow older, the skin loses elasticity. Breasts may sag. The belly may fold. Arthritis limits movement. Balance becomes shaky. Reaching certain areas becomes difficult, even painful. And underneath those folds, especially in warm climates or in people who sweat easily, something dangerous happens. Moisture collects. Sweat gets trapped. Heat builds up. And that warm, dark environment becomes the perfect breeding ground for fungus, yeast, and bacteria. This is why I say, daily showers don't guarantee clean skin folds. A senior can bathe every day, and still miss these areas entirely. Families often say, "But she showers, she's clean." And I always respond gently. Yes, but did she dry under the folds? Did she lift the skin? Did she reach where it's uncomfortable to reach? Most of the time the answer is no. And it's not their fault. It's simply the reality of aging. The good news? You can prevent most of these issues with simple habits. A gentle antibacterial wash during bathing. Carefully lifting the skin folds and patting them dry afterward. Not rubbing, not scrubbing, just gentle patting. And using breathable cotton bras or loose clothing that keeps air flowing instead of trapping moisture. Small changes. Big difference. Less irritation. Less infection. More comfort, and more dignity. If you're finding this helpful so far, tap the like button. It helps this message reach more families who need to hear it, and it reminds the algorithm that senior health matters too. But skin folds aren't the only forgotten danger zone. And believe it or not, the next area gets even less attention. Neglected area number 2, behind the ears and under the earlobes. Let's move to a spot that surprises almost everyone. A caregiver once shared something with me that she said she would never forget. Her father, a quiet, gentle man in his early 80s, always smelled a little off, even after a shower. Not a strong smell. Just something she couldn't quite explain. For months she thought, maybe it's his clothes, maybe it's the house, maybe it's his medicine. Until one day, as she was helping him adjust his glasses, she happened to look behind his ears. And what she found shocked her. A thick waxy buildup. Layers of dead skin, oils, sweat, and residue that had hardened over time. She said she almost cried, not out of disgust but out of sadness that he didn't even know it was there. This happens all the time in older adults. Behind the ears is one of the most ignored parts of the body. Why? Because seniors often can't rotate their arms the same way anymore. Their shoulders hurt. Their necks are stiff. They don't have the mobility to reach back and scrub that area thoroughly. And here's the scientific part. Behind the ears is naturally oily. Sweat glands there mix with dead skin cells. When those aren't cleaned off, they thicken into a wax-like film. And over time, that buildup can cause irritation, fungal infections, and even bruising of the skin. Yet many families still believe. It's just a smell, it's harmless. But it's not harmless. It's a sign that bacteria are multiplying in a place nobody checks. And fixing it is simple. A warm washcloth. A gentle soap. A quick wipe behind the ears and under the earlobes. And afterward, a little moisturizer to keep the skin from cracking. Tiny steps that protect the skin, prevent infection, and relieve discomfort seniors often stay silent about. And listen, if you're watching this and you still haven't subscribed, why not? Golden Years Guide is literally here to help you protect your loved ones, to help you understand the parts of aging that nobody explains at home. Go ahead, click subscribe. Or drop a comment explaining why you won't. I can take it. Now, this next one is even more overlooked. In fact, even caregivers forget it sometimes. Neglected area number 3, the belly button. Now let's talk about an area that almost everyone forgets, even younger adults. But in seniors, it becomes a real hidden danger. I once met a man who brought his 82-year-old father into the clinic because he kept noticing a strange, sour odor whenever he helped him dress. At first he thought it was sweat, then maybe the laundry detergent. But the smell persisted, strong, musty, and getting worse by the week. When we finally examined him, the problem wasn't his clothes, or his underarms, or anything you'd normally expect. It was his belly button. And here's the shocking part. It hadn't been cleaned in months, maybe longer. Inside we found a mix of dirt, old skin cells, lint from clothing, dried sweat, even yeast starting to grow around the edges. His family didn't know. He didn't know. No one thinks to check the belly button in an older adult because it's small, it's hidden, and honestly, it feels like it takes care of itself. But it doesn't. Not at all. The belly button is a dark, closed cavity. A perfect environment for bacteria to multiply. Moisture gets trapped. Debris settles. And because seniors often have reduced flexibility and weaker eyesight, they simply stop reaching that area altogether. Left alone long enough, the navel can become infected, red, painful, and foul-smelling. And in some cases, it can spread beyond the navel and affect surrounding skin. Thankfully, caring for this spot is simple. A cotton swab dipped in warm water. a little mild soap, gentle cleaning around, and inside, the navel. Then drying it completely with a soft towel afterward. No scrubbing. No harsh pressure. Just simple, consistent care. Quick question for you, and I'm genuinely curious. Did you know the belly button can get infected? Comment yes or no right now. You'd be surprised how many people have no idea. And if this one surprised you, the next area is even more overlooked. Neglected area number 4, between the toes. Let's move down to an area that almost every senior struggles with, yet almost no one checks. Between the toes. Think about someone you love, your mother, your grandfather, a senior you care for. Ask yourself honestly, do they actually bend down far enough to wash between their toes? Do they lift the foot, separate the toes, clean between the spaces? One caregiver once told me something that broke my heart a little. She said, I realized my father hadn't cleaned between his toes in years, because he said it was too far down. Not because he didn't want to. Not because he wasn't hygienic. But because his body literally could not do what it used to do. And this is extremely common. Older adults often struggle with reduced flexibility, stiffness, arthritis, poor balance, and fear of falling in the shower. And all of that makes reaching their feet one of the hardest tasks of bathing. But here's the real danger. When moisture stays trapped between the toes, especially after a shower or from sweating, it creates the perfect environment for fungus. That's when you start seeing peeling skin, white soft patches, cracking, strong odor, and itching. And in seniors with diabetes or poor circulation, fungal infections can become serious, even leading to deeper wounds or severe complications if ignored. But many families still assume foot odor is normal. No. Foot odor is almost always bacteria or fungus. And it's preventable. Here's what helps. A long-handled sponge or brush for seniors who can't bend safely. Warm foot soaks to soften debris. Drying between the toes after every bath. Gently, completely, every time. And if needed, a mild antifungal powder to keep the area dry. These small steps can prevent discomfort, infections, and long-term complications. And listen, if you agree that senior foot care gets ignored way too often, type yes in the comments. Because it truly is one of the most overlooked parts of aging. And really, if you're still watching without subscribing, is it because you don't care about your loved one's health? Come on, prove me wrong. Hit that subscribe button for Golden Years Guide, the channel that actually helps you protect the people who raised you. And this next area we're about to talk about may be the most dangerous one to neglect. Neglected area number 5, the groin area. Let me take you into a moment most families never see. Picture an elderly man, maybe your father, your uncle, or even a grandfather figure you deeply respect. He's 84. Proud. Independent. The kind of man who has spent his whole life taking care of everyone else. But now he avoids asking for help, even when he needs it most. A nurse once told me, almost every severe skin infection I treat in elderly patients starts in one place, the groin. And honestly, it's one of the areas seniors struggle with the most. Not because they don't care about hygiene. Not because they're lazy. But because reaching down there, lifting, bending, spreading the skin folds, it becomes a challenge they simply can't do as easily anymore. And so what happens? They do a quick rinse. A surface level wash. A fast pass of water that never reaches the deeper folds or the sensitive skin creases. They step out of the shower thinking they're clean. But underneath, the groin is holding sweat, dead skin, old moisture, and for many seniors, especially those with bladder leakage, tiny drops of urine that stay trapped in the skin. And when that moisture stays in the dark, warm folds of the groin, that's when trouble begins. Medically, here's what you're dealing with. The groin area is one of the top bacterial hotspots in the entire body, especially as we age. Why? Because it naturally holds sweat, bacteria, tiny urine drips, dead skin cells, moisture trapped between skin folds. And if your loved one also deals with incontinence, even mild, their risk of irritation, rash, and fungal infection skyrockets, 10 times higher. Think about it like this. A senior may shower every day. But if they're only washing the outer surface, the groin remains unclean. And once irritation starts, it quickly spirals into redness, then soreness, then painful friction, then open wounds, and in severe cases, that infection can spread. But here's the heartbreaking part. Most seniors feel embarrassed. They won't mention discomfort down there. They won't tell you it burns. They won't tell you it itches. They won't tell you it smells. They'll just quietly suffer through it. And families, well-intentioned, loving families, often assume they showered so they're fine. But showering is not enough if they can't physically reach the area. So what actually helps? Here's what medical caregivers recommend. Use a mild, non-fragrance soap. Fragrances can irritate aging skin. Pat dry, don't rub. Older skin is thinner and bruises easily. Apply a protective barrier cream. This prevents irritation, especially for those with incontinence. Switch to clean cotton underwear daily. Breathability is everything. If they can't reach the area, provide gentle, respectful assistance. And this part matters. Approach with dignity, kindness, and patience. Sometimes helping an elder means stepping into uncomfortable moments. But those moments can prevent infections that would otherwise send them to the hospital. If anything in this section surprised you, drop a comment saying, "I learned something." It not only helps this video reach more people, it helps protect real families. Now that we've uncovered these hidden areas, these quiet, often unseen parts of the body that seniors struggle to care for, let's shift into something even more important, something deeper than hygiene. Because this isn't just about cleaning the body, it's about preserving dignity, protecting health, and extending the quality of life for the people we love most. Let's talk about what all this truly means for you, and for them. You know, there's a moment in every family's journey that nobody really talks about. A moment that hits harder than we expect. It's when you look at your parent or your grandparent, someone who once lifted you, guided you, protected you, and suddenly you realize they're struggling with something as simple as hygiene. Something they handled effortlessly for decades. That realization? It stings. It cuts deep. Because it reminds you that time is moving, and roles are quietly shifting. Watching the people who once took care of us slowly lose the ability to care for themselves, it's one of the most emotional, confusing, painful transitions any of us will ever face. And nobody prepares you for that moment. But here's the truth you need to hold close. Awareness doesn't bring fear. Awareness brings power. It brings the ability to step in with intention, compassion, and dignity. Because once you understand what's really happening, once you know the hidden areas they might be missing, you're no longer reacting, you're protecting. You're preventing. You're showing love in the quietest, most meaningful way. So here's my encouragement to you. Tonight, just take 2 minutes. 2 minutes to gently check in on a senior in your life. Ask if they're comfortable. Ask if they need help with anything hygiene related. And offer your help without judgment, without embarrassment, without pressure. You'd be amazed how many infections, how many hospital visits, how many painful rashes could be avoided, just by asking one simple question at the right time. Remember, caring for our elders isn't about perfection. It's not about doing everything flawlessly. It's about love. It's about patience. It's about creating a space where they feel safe enough to admit what they can no longer say out loud. And when you show up for them in these small, tender ways, you're doing more than helping with hygiene. You're giving them comfort. You're giving them dignity. You're giving them a quality of life they cannot maintain alone. That is real care. That is real love. Before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap, because what we covered today truly matters. These are the 5 most commonly neglected body areas in older adults. 1. Skin folds, especially under the breasts and around the belly. 2. Behind the ears, the hidden waxy buildup no one thinks about. 3. The belly button, one of the most forgotten spots on the entire body. 4. Between the toes, a major hotspot for fungal infections. 5. The groin area, the most sensitive, most difficult, and most infection-prone area for seniors. If you ever start noticing any signs of neglect in these areas, don't ignore it. Don't wait. Don't assume it will fix itself. A little awareness today can prevent a major health crisis tomorrow. And now I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 areas shocked you the most? Tell me in the comments. Your experience, your honesty, your story. It might be exactly what another family needs to hear. And hey, if you found today's video helpful, if something in this touched you, informed you, or opened your eyes, consider subscribing to Golden Years Guide. We post gentle, practical, deeply caring insights designed to keep your loved ones' later years safer, healthier, and more comfortable. And every time you hit like or subscribe, you help this information reach another family that needs it. Thank you for watching today. Thank you for caring. Thank you for showing up for the people who once showed up for you. Stay loving, stay attentive, and stay informed. I'll see you in the next video.